Guys, I got Plat 1 rank again on Master Duels, playing the 60 card Thunder Dragon Dragon Link pile. And I know I said I got it again, and this is your guys' first time seeing the deck profile. I recorded my deck profile for the last ranked season in this game, and it was like a 25-minute video, and 20 minutes into it, I realized that I owned Max C and did not actually put it in my deck. So last format, I plat one owning Max C's without playing Max C's, and I was so embarrassed I literally didn't post the list. But I just went and did it again, but with Max C's in my deck this time. I wish I did post my list actually, because this list is way cleaner, and I would love to show you guys like the change. And also, look at how many goddamn URs and SRs are in this, and I'm completely free to play. So like, this deck is probably not attainable for a free to play player unless they set forward like with the intention of making it right away. But you guys know me. I've been playing this on Dueling Book up until the format switch. I haven't tested it much yet. But this is the deck I was playing, and it doesn't have 3 grass, 3 snow. So when I saw this format, I was like, dude, fuck me. I'm playing 3 grass, 3 snow. And I'm going to get right into the profile. I also have a replay to show you guys that'll show you what my end board is. And one last thing. Sorry that the deck profile, like, this Master Duel should make their formatting of their deck, like, lists like Dueling Book, where I can choose the placement of the cards, because everything else about this game is very friendly to content creators in my opinion, except for that and the fact that you can't see the opponent's hand in replays. Those things aside, this game's like perfect for creators, but if they could fix those, it would be like literally perfect. So I'm going to get in my little deck profile. I played 3 Black Metal Dragon with only 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal to go with it. You technically could play 2. The reasons I don't play 2, honestly, it's a UR, and there's URs I'd rather purchase. And some like that's really it. You don't want to draw the card that often either. You'd much rather search it off this. But this card's not once per turn. So like you summon Baby Metal, go into Striker, search Field Spell, search Red MD, banish Striker, summon Red MD, special Black Metal, go into Romulus, search Field Spell number 2, and search a second Red MD if you play it, which is cool because then you have free discard fodder worst case. But and then like you have the extender for later, but I honestly don't think you really need it. Like I said, it's an ultra. There's other ultras I'd rather get. And then Rocket Synchron, and with that we play the 3 Tracer, the 1 other level 4 Recharger. You could play any of them. I just play Recharger. It's a common, why not? And sometimes its effect comes up. Although in this it comes up a lot less than it does in like normal Yu-Gi-Oh! And then like the 3 Launch, 1 Boot Sector that go with that also. And then for hand traps, I've got triple Max C, triple Ash, and 1 Nib. The reason for these in particular, Max C, like, it's Max C, it's the best hand trap in the game. Ash is to stop my opponent's Max C. And other grasses, but I've literally never played a 60-card mirror match. Like, I think it might just be because the decks are expensive, but, like, none of y'all are playing grass, and you're wrong. Like, this is the best card I think ever printed. Like, I could come up with arguments for it being the best card ever printed. You might also have arguments, but you'd have to at least concede that this card is in contention for one of the best cards ever printed. And people just aren't playing it. But if they were, Ash stops it. And then, like I said, the 3 Max C for my opponents. But the Ash is cool because, like, it's like the second best hand trap because it stops Max C if they Max C you going first, just like a Called By would. But going second, it's still a hand trap. And in this deck, I like the, like, functionality of that. Because I'm playing 60 cards, I like that cards being versatile for first and second. And then the 1 Nib, it's a light, so you can add it off of the Chaos Ruler. I also only have one because I pulled one. And I was like, it's a light, I'll play it. It's cool to banish lights. It's live with like the Chaos space. But if they push into your Max C, you have something to draw to punish them for doing that. Yeah, it's 60 cards. The odds aren't the highest, but if they keep pushing, you keep drawing, the odds get higher every draw. And then a triple White Dragon Wyver Buster, double Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. The reason you do 3-2 is because this is the better one to draw. This one's kind of a brick to draw because we play a lot more darks than lights, and our darks are easier to put themselves in grave. But we play 2 blacks still, so that if we open one, the white search is still live. But also, like, you can go, if you open with white, you go white. I mean, if you open with black and it happens to be live, then you go black, search white. White could still search black. And you get, like, the free advantage and then have the black for follow-up to search the white. And then on the next turn, just do a whole bunch. But it also, like, if you mill one off of ruler or off of what's it called? Off of grass, you want it. If you open black dragon chaos space and you have to pitch black to search white, you want to have the second. There's just, I think this is the perfect ratio on these 3-2, and then the chaos space to search them also. And there's also other targets for it. The chaos emperor dragon and the levy are the other two targets you play to search off of the chaos space. But they also can be added through like pitching them with ravine if you have Seyfert engraved, Seyfert tribute and 8. Speaking of which, 3 Seyfert also searches these guys mainly. If you open Seyfert, you're probably attributing it to search black and doing your combo. And then for the Thunder Dragon package, triple dark, 1 hawk, 2 roar. If you could play more of hawk and roar, I don't know if I would, cause like I think in the TCG my lineup is 2-1-2, but in this it is so much more valuable to hit one that I want to play the maximum amount of like opportunities to hit it. And the reason I don't play the regular Thunder Dragon is because if you're able to banish Roar, you're summoning Dark, linking Dark, searching Hawk. And if you're able to banish Dark, you're just searching Hawk. Hawk is always going to discard, summon a guy, make the Colossus. And so that's all this engine is for. 6 cards, that 5 of which, if I mill them to the graveyard, I'm ending on a Colossus. And then the 1 card that enables me to do that. And I don't really, there's not much that a regular Thunder Dragon would synergize with. It's free discard fodder, but it's not really free. You're playing 3 bad cards in your deck. And it's free Lights Engrave, but again, not free. It's 3 bad lights in your deck. But then I play 1 Radiant, the multi-dimensional Kaiju, and is that it? Yeah, I used to play this other Kaiju too, one of the light ones. This is really just like a one of for going second. If you open it, it's not a big deal. You just pitch it with like a chaos space going first. It's dark, so you can add it off this. Same reasoning. This card could be changed. I'm not sold on it. It's just cool. And I think it's literally never came up, but I've never drawn it. It's a one of in a 60 card deck. You're not that likely to draw them. But when it comes up, I'll let y'all know. And then 1 Arc Brave with 1 Amorphage Goliath. If you guys don't remember what these cards do, Goliath says that neither player can summon monsters from the extra deck except Arrow Mages or Amorphages. And then Arc Brave says that during the next standby phase after this card was sent to the grave, you could summon a level 7 or 8 dragon. And it also has a cool effect that if it's specialed from the grave, banish as many face-up spell traps your opponent controls as possible. That banishing effect hasn't came up for me yet, but there's definitely lines where you could like Pisty, bring it back, activate effect if you're against like Eldritch and they have a bunch of floodgates. And even if the floodgates skill drain, you just go like Arc Brave effect, chain snow, banish Arc Brave, force the resolution. And so it could come up for that. It hasn't, but mainly it's to summon Goliath. If you, I typically when I start comboing, I will like search both field spells before I grass if I have grass. And so if that's the case and grass happens to hit one of these, you just send the other with Ravine and then it's live. And also the Goliath in particular, the reason I play this card is because if I get hit by Max C, my end board, depending on my hand, but for the most part, I'm going to try to just end on a seal and pass. And typically people will like summon a card, battle phase, bait the seal, or if they think they can combo, they'll start trying to combo. And then you just seal, bounce. If they go battle phase attack, you're like lit because you bounce their guy, summon the Goliath. They're not expecting this, and now they can't attack. They're locked out of extra deck for the turn. But it's also fine if they try to play instead of just going straight to battle, and you bounce and go into this, because then they're forced to go into battle and kill it. And even if they're putting a board up, like, it's assuming we got max seed. And so the fact that we can guarantee live off of a 1 to 2 card commitment and then have like 3 to 4 cards to follow up with is like really good. Also, another play when you get max seed is if you have grass, you just use it. You play 3 snow. I don't even know if I said that. 3 snow, by the way. But if you mill snow, you literally don't care. If you mill a Thunder Dragon with it, you're not dying. If you mill snow roar, you can't die that turn. You just pass to them. They don't really draw. And then they can't kill you. Your roar summons dark. Your dark searches hawk. Your snow's still in grave. You have like infinite resources. Then they die the next turn. And are there any more monsters I got to cover? Oh yeah, 2 Absa Router. One of them is like real shiny one. I don't know what this rarity's called. I guess it's like a collector rare, but so shout out my collector rare Absa Router. But Absa Router, I play 2 because I want to mill it more off grass. Also, if you open it, it's fine because you can send it off the ravine. Card's just like really crazy. I like it a lot. You guys know what it does. It searches Tracer. And then 1 Levy, 1 Chaos Emperor. I already covered these, but they're really good. I play 1 Melody to search them. I only have the one melody, and I was chasing it for a while and only managed to pull this one. But I honestly don't like the card that much, so I might just not play it, honestly, eventually. I'm going to keep the one up for now, but if I need space, it's like the first thing to go. One Monster Reborn. This card's like fine. It's contributed to Brick Hand sometimes. It's also like just an extender sometimes, but I think I'd keep playing it. If I need space, it's another thing that's likely to go. One Left Arm Offering. The reason that I opt for one is because there are really good cards to banish. And this card, if you guys don't know what it does, banish your whole hand, search a spell. And you have to banish at least 2 cards. And also you can't set spell traps during the turn you use it. And so I was playing 3 for a while, but it came up a lot, honestly, where it was like your only play and you really didn't want to do that, or you had other plays, but in order to commit to those plays, every play you're doing is making your grass worse anyways. And it just like, when it's your only play and it gets ash, you like auto lose the duel, whereas if this is your only play and it gets ash, you just like pass, and on your next turn, if you draw a starter, you still win. Also, the fact that it makes you get rid of Maxes and ashes is really weak. I kept the 1 in, so it's like I play 4 grass, and I haven't seen it really since I put 2 out, but it's another card I'd consider cutting. Gold Sark, this card's crazy. Banish Roar, Summon Dark, or Banish Dark, search Hawk. And if you summon the Dark, link it away for like an IP, search Hawk, and you just get a big end board for free. It helps. It's just like the 7th Thunder Dragon card. You're only ever banishing those 2. Also, I had a game where I went Gold Sark, Banish Dark, Dark attempt to search, I got ashed. And then I just like ended up, I did some other stuff. I didn't make a real board. He had another interruption or 2. Maybe he like max seed also, and so I didn't really want to commit, so I just passed. I didn't die. My turn rolls around. I try to play again. He hand traps me, but he also didn't have combo. And then I pass. He passes back. And then the Gold Sark actually added Dark back, and then I pitched it off a Chaos Space, and dude, it felt so good. But the one Melody, Triple Allure of Darkness. This card, you're like mainly wanting to banish Thunders, but you also have like a lot of other Darks you can get rid of, and it's pretty like free, honestly. It just lets you dig for your big power cards and help on Brick, and if you have one of these, it is a power card. Like, if you draw 2 Banish Roar, you go so plus because your Banish not only was free, but the card it's going to replace itself with also replaces itself, and your Allure just like turns into a +2, and it feels real good. Then the 3 grass, like I said, best card in my opinion in this game. Like better than Max C. First Ultra you should probably make is actually Max C, but that's because no one is playing these 60 card decks. But like realistically, you should pick up grass and then make a 60 card deck. Like they're the best decks in my opinion. And that's all I really have to say about it. But don't take my word for it. Don't play 60 so that I can continue to have the freest games ever on this app. Then 3 Chaos Space, like I said, searches. Ravine and Boot, you search. Triple this. And then 1 Emptiness. This is like the best trap in the game. There have been a lot of games where like I'll like summon. A lot of my summons are inherent. So I'll do an inherent summon, and they'll expect me to be linking into something. So they'll drop Max C. I'll just set Emptiness pass, and then I just flip it and they lose. Like this card, going first, it lets you play through Max C because you just set it, and it's a 1 card like auto win. And if you combo, they can't beat you because you're putting up like a negate, sometimes the additional negate. How do they out it? MST Pop, Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twister, Lightning Storm, nope, negate. And then the duel just ends. I've flipped this a lot of times and literally just ended the duel. It's like actually insane. And there's also a case in the extra deck to play Griffin. I don't have it. That way when you mill it off of this, you can just set it. But those are cards I'm interested in getting in the future because there's a couple things in my extra I could cut. But for the extra, 1 Colossus. This is another reason I wanted to play this deck. It's definitely the reason these cards are in my deck. A lot of decks just can't beat it, and if they can get over it, they have to put a lot of resources into it. But you're making it with Omni Negates and Monster Negates, so like they're not beating it. Then 1 Borload Savage, 1 Chaos Ruler. Just like, this is standard in this deck. This is a negate. This mills 5. So if you milled 15 off grass, it becomes mill 20. Hot Red, another Omni Negate. 1 Pisty, 1 Striker. Striker's at 3 this format, but there's just other cards I honestly would rather play. Like, I'll get into the other cards I get there, but like you could play more Striker if you really wanted. 1 Seal, mainly go into this if I get Max Seed. You also could like technically make the play around Nib, but nobody makes Nib. And a lot of the times, if I have the extenders, I make Appaloosa. If I don't, I go into this. But the card's very strong. You kind of need it. One Phoenix. The reason for Phoenix is also like why I mentioned Arcbrave, because there's a lot of Eldritch in ranked and they play Skill Drain. And also, like, this is an out to there can be only one. But then if they have Skill Drain and you have Snow Engrave, it becomes an out to Skill Drain too. Because you pitch, target Skill Drain, chain Snow, banish to get it off the field. And so it'll resolve off the field since Skill Drain only impacts on field. And then you get to pop it and win the game. The Romulus searches a field spell. This card also, I didn't even realize it had this other effect until Master Duel, because it always asks me if I want to use it. I've never used it because it's kind of garbage, but it asks me if I want to. You can special a dragon or winged beast from your hand when you summon to the zone this points to, but you can't use it for link material, and its effects are negated. It could occasionally come up if you need something to synchro with, but it just has never came up for me. But I learned it was there, so that's kind of cool. Quad Boral, this card comes up a decent amount. You like destroy a link, summon rockets from your grave equal to or less than the link rating. Most of the time you're popping itself so that you can go into both like this and this. Oftentimes if you can only make one, this card will allow you to make two. And then IP, it's a dark, it's a negate. You go into Unicorn or Appaloosa with it. Unicorn, you out stuff. You also use it to go into access code, go in second, or go in third, I guess, like if you went first. Boral Sword and access. Honestly, the Boral Sword's a flex spot. You don't have to play this card also, but it has came up where they've negated my access code, and I just have the resources to make Boral Sword and another guy, and then just like kill them anyways. I swear, they've got to be salty when that happens. But the card, like, doesn't come up often enough to really justify it staying, but there's other stuff I might want to play, but as you see, I have like no UR gems, so I've just been playing what I got. Then the one Appaloosa, I make this card all the time. One access code goes for game. And now that y'all were patient and watched this whole deck profile, I'm going to show you a replay with it. Let me figure out how to get there again. I think it's up here. This is just like to showcase the like power of this deck. I opened Grass is Greener, so my opening is insane. And I put up a board that can't be beat. Literally, I have so many resources that it's kind of insane. But I'll just show you guys. We open Black Dragon, Collapse Serpent, Snow, Recharger, Grass, Quick Launch. So the hand's fine even without Grass. Like 1 or 2 hand traps would beat it. But he doesn't have hand trap. So I normal, make Striker, search Boot. This is just to guarantee I don't mill the Boot. Activate Grass. We're going to mill a bunch. Also, a thing to note here, I'll go over the Grave. But the reason why I instantly went into Grass instead of like activating the quick launch or something and trying to play was because when I did the normal summon of my guy and go into Striker, if you guys don't know how to play around hand traps, let me know, because that's a video I'd be willing to do. But when I normal summoned, went into Striker, there's a monster on board. So if he had Gamma, if he had Gamma, Valor, or Imperm, he would have got an activation window. Maxi always has an activation window. Ash, because the search has an activation window, and he did not get an activation window, which meant to me that I was clear of all those cards, or that he toggled it to off. And so I assumed it's safer to assume that he just didn't have the cards, and so I grassed and I didn't get punished for it. But we mill a lot. Like we mill a Safer, the Arcbrave, a Snow, lots of Lights and Darks, a Levy, to add off the Safer, another Safer, Thunder Dragon Roar. And so like milling Safer, Roar, Levy is just like a full combo right then and there on top of all these extra cards and Snow I have. So Safer will get the Levy, banish 3 Darks for Levy, and then we'll get Roar's effect, which is going to summon the Dark from deck after I rip a card from his hand. Shout out Natty Daddies, by the way. These things kind of taste like shit, but they strong. And so then I summon out the Dark, then special Black Dragon, Collapse Serpent, and we're going to link straight for Appaloosa for material. They're like, maybe it was a better play to make here, honestly, but I had the resources to do this and still do an amazing board. And like I said, like we passed a checkpoint on all those relevant hand traps, and he did not have them. The only one that I could still get hard punished by was Nibiru. I was technically on my 5th summon there, so he could have Nibiru'd me there, but I was thinking like, maybe he had it off for that, or maybe he didn't realize he should Nibiru there. And so I just wanted to assure I wouldn't lose to that. And also 4 negates is nice. Like This isn't bad. And there's a timer too, so I try not to think too much, honestly, and I just kind of throw my cards on the board. But here we get Dark and Collapse Serpent to search. So we're going to net 2 free cards. We're going to grab White. We're going to grab Hawk. And then Special the White, I think. Yeah, Special White. Make Pisty. White, search Black if I have one in deck. And I chained Launch. You don't really chain it here, but I was getting tired of the activation window asking me if I wanted to use it. So I just did it. White will search Black. I'm going to use Pisty for an additional Tracer. And then link those away for the Quad Boral. Now this play is really sick. I Quad Boral, pitch Snow, summon back a Rocket and a Tracer. You might be thinking, these are all tuners. What are you going to do, idiot? I have 19 cards engraved with a Snow. So 14 of those cards get banished, and I have 2 non-effect or non-tuner monsters, which means I can make the Chaos Ruler, mill 5, add 1, putting 4 more cards in grave, make the Hot Red, and then make a Savage Dragon. And so that's where the quad really comes up in this, is the fact that if you have Snow, you want to have all tuners. So here we'll go Chaos Ruler, mill lots of cards. I hate how slow this is, even on sped up. But I think I had the black metal. I also get to send the Chaos Space, which is awesome. I just get a free draw on top of this. So I'm going to use it. Put back black, and we draw a max C of all cards. So on top of the broken, unbeatable board you're about to see, I also have max C. So like if you tried to beat it, it doesn't matter. Like you could Dark Ruler me, and then try to play, and I'm going to draw for every card. But here I make the Savage, equip the guy, Hawk, bring back Roar, summon Colossus. And then on the standby phase, Archbrave is going to bring out the Levy. That's honestly just a beater. Like, it doesn't really matter, but it assures that I can just, like, swing for game next turn no matter what he does. But he's just going to set cards and scoop. Like, how do you beat that? Not only do I have these, the Floodgate, it kind of sucks that I didn't pause it quick enough. But not only do I have Colossus stopping him from searching, 2 Omni Negates, 4 Monster Negates, Max C, and I have 2 Snow in Graveyard. Meaning that he also has to play through 2 Book of Moons. And so that's the deck profile and the combo. Not really combo, but just like showing you guys the possible end boards with this deck. If you also play 60, let me know. Like, and if you don't, please tell me why. Is it because of budget? Or do you genuinely think 40 is correct? Because that's kind of crazy. But if you guys want to see more of this deck and more Master Duels, let me know in the comments and take it easy.